Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Huang. I'm here with my research partners, Shan Dai, Di Zhu, to give our presentation. We are a research group from Wenzhou King University, and our topic today is Chinese university students' attitude towards China English in an English medium instruction contest. We have 4 parts in total today. First is our introduction, and is the significance of our research. We also have data collection and analysis of data. In introduction, we'll cover the background of our research and the concepts of China English and EMI, and also cultural identity. And we will present our rationale of our study and research questions. First of all, let's dive into the background. We have 10 Sino-foreign joint universities in China, and 7 of them are cooperating with universities in ENL or ESL countries. Most of them are under EMI contests, which means this can influence on students' attitudes towards English learning, China English, and their self-cultural identity recognition. You can see from the right chart, we have arranged them in an alphabetical order, and Wenzhou King University is one of them. And why we choose Wenzhou King University to do our research, I believe you'll have a better understanding after the introduction of our school. Wenzhou King University is an EMI university. We have totally 28 programs in our school, ranging from undergraduate programs to doctoral program. In here, you can enjoy an environment of IHE, internationalization of higher education. We also have teachers. We have 220 full-time teachers from all over the world. So here you can enjoy the IAH, internalization at home, and learning the global style academic. Our slogan here is start here, go everywhere. Because our students, they all start their undergraduate life in Wenzhou, but they put their footprints to all over the world. And we have 4,500 students, including international students from Korea, from Singapore, but most of them are Chinese. And the rate of pursuing master degrees higher to 63.64%. They make it to the top 100 universities. And because they immerse themselves in 4 years in WKU, in the environment of EMI, they have a better time to address themselves when they go out and pursue their postgraduate life. So what is an EMI? EMI is English as a medium of instruction, which has both advantages and disadvantages. As demonstrated in various studies, Pasaga 2000 highlights the benefits of EMI, including improved language proficiency, enhanced cognitive development, and increased global job opportunities. However, March 2006 offers a contrasting perspective, outlining potential drawbacks such as decreased academic performance, reduced comprehension, and an increased burden on educators and students. Students' attitudes and motivation also play a significant role in the success of EMI program. According to Chen, 2007, students with positive attitudes toward English and higher motivation level tend to perform better and benefits from EMI program. As a student who have the high motivation and who love English, I can agree more with this theory. Despite the disadvantages, Deloitte 2011 addressed potential problems in implementing EMI, such as inadequate teacher training, insufficient language support for students, and the risk of marginalizing local languages and culture. In conclusion, while EMI presents numerous benefits, it is crucial to address challenges and potential advantages associated with its implementation. Ensuring effective learning outcomes and preserving cultural diversity should be prioritized when adopting EMI in educational settings. That's my introduction to EMI. Now my partner Shu Dizhu will take on from here and talk about the concept of China English.
Okay, hello everyone. I am Shu Dizhu, and here I'm going to talk about China English. As the global English helps China English spread, as the globalization helps English spread in China, the Chinese Pidgin English started to merge in 16th century in Canton in China for trading with European traders along Chinese shores. With the development of English in China, China English started to merge as a new variety of World English. And as we all know, that there are four procedures of formation of a language. The first one is selection of a language variety. Number two, codification. Number three, elaboration of function. And number four is acceptance. And thanks to Cultural in 1992, he introduces China as an expanding circle countries in English. And in China, people use English and learn English as a foreign language. And He and Li in 2009 studied on students increasing awareness and acceptance of China English. This and people are starting to know and aware of China English. In 2015, Yang and Zhang said that people have low recognition and negative perception of China English due to the Chinglish stigma. It is, and also the one in 2015, the study shows that people are not widely accept the China English. So the acceptance of China English is still a meaningful project for us to study. And in 2017, Ma and Xu also defined what is Chinglish and what is Chinese English. This is also helping us differentiate the three concepts of Chinglish, Chinese English, and China English. This kind of differentiation will help us accept and understand China English better. Malina in 2017 noted that China English can be also as a pedagogical choice. This is fulfill the function of China English as an education strategy, and it's also in the second procedure of elaboration of function. And we can also say from this study that China English is gaining its acceptance better and is helping, and all these kinds of studies helping Chinese and also helping other people from other countries to understand China English better. As we have the as we have the phrases that is already accepted by many people around the world, like long time no see, tofu, baozi, these kinds of words are all in China English. And Wang in 2018 have pointed out that the normativity of Chinese speakers' English is tied to the development of China. So the development of China English is very closely related to the status of China in the world and China's power, national power. So next part, we are going to introduce cultural identity, which is also very related to China's national power, as we can see in the number 6 Pence study in 2019 that pointed out attitudes toward China English, partly due to cultural identities and national pride. This is very related to the culture and the national aspects. Jenkins have stated that language is a way to position identity, and identity is complicated, unstable, and fluid. So people's attitude toward language will also be dynamic, as we can assume. And Gore and Beckett in 2007 noted that there are possible threats of native speaker norms in ELT on learners' cultural identities. So, as learners have their right to express their L1 identity when speaking English, they can also what they have received in education can also have the influence on their cultural identity, and the cultural identity can influence their attitude. There is a very strict link between these kinds of items, and that is what we are going to investigate in our study at the Sino-American Joint University in China. And the next part, we are going to introduce the rationale of the study. Our study is based on Wenzhou Qing University, which is a Sino-American Joint University cooperated. That's a cooperation between Wenzhou University in China and the American Qing University. So it's very different from the former studies, which are based from the common Chinese universities funded by Chinese government or Chinese enterprises, where the students who are not going to pursue their master degree abroad, and they're not most of them are taught by Chinese teachers, not by foreign teachers. And Zheming Huang has told us that Wenzhou Qing University, the teachers there are over 200 teachers from over 40 countries or regions over worldwide, and that means we have a very internalization environment in our campus, and that's what we are going to do, that we are going to supplement the research in this field within EMI context. And our aim is to analyze students' attitude toward English learning, Chinese accent, and China English. And after investigating their attitude, we're going to investigate the relationship between their identities and their attitude, and also to explore the influence of EMI context on students' attitude and identity construction. According to our aims, we have 3 research questions. One is, what is students' major attitude at a Sino-American Joint University toward English learning, Chinese accent, and China English? And how Do students' identities and motivation for further study abroad relate to their attitude, as we can see in the later part, that we have the question in our questionnaire that whether do you want to go for further study in the future. And number 3 is how does EMI context influence students' attitude and identity contribution? These are all very closely related to our aims. Next, we will have our Shenshan Dai to introduce our data collection and data analysis. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Shan Dai, and I will explain the second part, significance of our research. It can be divided into theoretical significance and practical significance. First, theoretical significance. The study of students' attitude towards China English at the Sino-American Joint University may explore the role of EMI between identity construction and attitude toward China English. Also, it can fill the gap in the research on students' attitude toward China English in EMI context. Because our university is in China and also in EMI context, so our research place is very suitable in this research to fill the gap in the research field. As for practical significance, this study demonstrates attitude of Chinese students with different subculture towards China English, because our students may from different provinces, districts in China, and also they have different dialects. So absolutely, they have different subcultures. So that's will result to the different attitudes for China English. And also the influence of EMI on students' attitude and perception of inclusion of word Englishes. So it's a good way for them to know more about different varieties of English. Also, they will be familiar with the influence of EMI. This study also may pay attention to the influence of students' English learning background or experiences. And that's because they started from learning English in different ages. Also, they will meet different schools and teachers. So that's why they will have different backgrounds and experiences. It enhances students' awareness of word Englishes. So it's a good chance for them to know the concepts in word Englishes. Many students from different majors or different colleges, schools will have different background. So maybe part of them never know about word Englishes. So this study can facilitate their awareness. Lastly, extend inspiration for teaching and assessing English at EMI environments in Chinese universities. It also can inspire professors and teachers to assess English proficiencies in the universities. And also it facilitates their teaching. Third part is data collection. It has duration, place, participants, and methods. For research duration, it starts from March to August in 2024, which has 6 months. Research place in a Sino-American Joint University in China. As for participants, there are teachers and students in the university. Students are undergraduate level. For methods, it is mixed methods. Questionnaires are quantitative methods, and interviews are qualitative methods. In fact, our research are in the progress. We will have 150 questionnaires and 10 students for interviews. Let me introduce the part of our questionnaires. It will have 6 parts. First is basic information of participants, like their name, gender, major, age, hometown. Also, the 4 parts are used a Likert point for students to grade it 1 to 5, like strongly disagreeing to strongly agreeing. Let me explain these 4 parts. Students' attitude towards China English. For example, China English can adequately express the ideas that are specific to Chinese culture. Students' awareness of Chinese accent. For instance, I can recognize people's accent as Chinese accent. Identity contribution, like when I speak English, I do not mind being identified as a non-native English speaker. Students' attitude toward English. For example, English is a useful tool for communication. The last part is different because it uses yes, no, or not sure answer. Students' awareness of related concepts. For example, I know what is China English. I know what is Chinese English. So that's our questionnaires. We will use different survey items to for students to grade. Then is for interviews. Here is our interview questions. It has opening questions. Can you introduce yourself and share your English learning experiences? Questions about China English. For example, have you ever heard of the term China English? Are you familiar with it? Questions about accent, attitude, identity, and English learning. How many English accents are you familiar with? What do you think a native English speaker is? And the last one is closing questions. Do you think whether there's a need for students at Sino-foreign universities to learn China English? So that's all about our survey items. And the last part is data analysis. The questionnaires are analyzed by software SPSS. It can show the mean, standard deviation, and percent, and so on. Also, the interviews are coded and used by semantic analysis to show the results. And then it's our research references. That's all about our research. We introduced through introduction, significance, data collection, and data analysis. So thanks for listening. Thank you.